Hi there, I'm Perella Lewis. We have got some big changes coming to our weather as we go into really tomorrow night into next week. But we are going to be getting a lot more snow than we have gotten in a long time across the mountains and the passes. But we're also going to see some more of that isolated lowland snow. And on top of that, we've got an atmospheric river. It's not going to be a strong one. It's not going to be widespread flooding, but it is going to be enough rain that Wednesday is going to be wetter than average commute for you, for your family, and it's likely that it's not just going to be Wednesday. So we've got a lot to cover. We also have a couple of first alert weather days that we wanted to give you an early heads up on and just kind of spend the next few minutes walking you through this. You know, we get a little bit more time when we can stream like this and kind of give you a lot more information in this format. It's tough to do that within a newscast. I give you as much as I can, but 3 minutes is not quite the same as us being able to go into some detail to make sure that everyone is up to date on everything you need to know for the coming days. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Let's start off with something I love to do every single night. I love looking at our cameras, whether it's White Pass, it's Stevens Pass. This, of course, is Snoqualmie Pass. And every night, it's amazing. We've always got skiers out there enjoying some of this snow, especially considering we didn't get a lot of snow last month. We certainly haven't gotten a lot of snow this month. These folks are skiing right now on 2 inches of fresh snow this week, and that's all. I'm sure the pass has made lots of man-made snow to kind of help complement that, but these folks are out there enjoying the last few days of winter nonetheless, and that's pretty impressive. When we take a look at the month of March, I know we're only 7 days in. We're just kind of getting started here, but I went downstairs and did some quick looking, and just at the base, right, not in higher elevations, but just at the base, this is how much snow Stevens and Snoqualmie and White Pass and Crystal Mountain has received over the past 7 days. So this is a pretty lackluster month so far, but we're on here right now because that's going to change. We're going to end up with more snow in March than we had last month, and maybe than we've had all year. We'll take a look at those totals here in a minute. The satellite and radar is blinking. I apologize. We lost about an hour's worth of data, so that's why it blinks. That 1 hour is gone when we put it on a loop. But you see that line that's extending from Canada all the way out into the Pacific Ocean? That's our cold front. Behind that, it looks a little bit like bubbles, I think is the best way I can describe it. That's what cold air looks like on a satellite. So we've got cold air that's going to be spilling out of the Gulf of Alaska, chasing this cold front, and all of that will be in our area tomorrow. So that's kind of where all of this weather begins, this big weather change. Ahead of that cold front, we're going to have some scattered showers. Just about everyone across western Washington will get some rain tomorrow. It is not going to be a lot of rain for most, but it's not necessarily going to be the isolated showers we had today. More of us will be impacted for your Sunday. It's going to be colder and wetter next week, a lot colder, a lot wetter. And that is why we have issued first alert weather days for Tuesday night into Wednesday. I will say, we may need to extend those because all of next week looks active depending on where you are. So we're starting with Tuesday night into Wednesday, but again, that might be expanded, so you want to stay tuned. Why is there a first alert weather day Tuesday night into Wednesday? Well, there's several reasons. Number one, we're looking at heavy snow in the mountains and passes. So when you're getting this level of snow, oftentimes, if you're traveling through or near the passes, you have roadways that have to be closed down sometimes. You have a lot of slush initially that causes spin-outs. So travel in and around the passes might be treacherous. It might at the very least be tricky. So this is your heads up. On top of that, we've got lowland snow coming. Now, it's going to be isolated, and I don't think there's going to be a ton of accumulation, but it could cause some slick spots on roads as it did a couple of weeks ago. And we're talking about a wetter than average commute on Wednesday with that atmospheric river. But I'll show you in a couple of minutes, that atmospheric river has a couple of phases to it. So that's why I think this is going to continue right on through the end of next week, maybe even into the weekend. Now, this is not the best picture, and I apologize for that. I took this off of one of our cameras at the station here on February 18th when this happened, Snohomish County. That was the last time. Remember that week we had a few pockets of lowland snow and Granite Falls did get some accumulation. There was some light snow on grassy areas. This was in Snohomish County, not too far from Bothell, kind of north of there, kind of on that King County, Snohomish County line. But this poor driver of this truck, if you look carefully, there was a little bit of snow on the roadways. It didn't accumulate a lot, but it was slushy and it caused him or her to spin out. So this is kind of what I envisioned next week. Not that people are going to spin out, not that it's going to be anything widespread, but just enough snow sometime, at night, early in the morning when it's tough to see, that you might just want to drive a little bit slower. So that's why we're coming on here and making sure that you have days and days of a heads up, days and days of a warning. Okay, it's also going to be breezy to windy at times. Tomorrow the winds will be caused by that cold front coming in, especially along the coast, the northern interior parts of Puget Sound. But these winds will stay up off and on throughout next week. Wednesday, the atmospheric river. Thursday, Friday, we have other systems coming. So the winds will be up at times as our active weather gets going next week. Okay, here's kind of the first of a series of our winter weather alerts for next week. And I say the first because, as you can see, this starts tomorrow afternoon through Tuesday. The National Weather Service typically doesn't issue these too far in advance. So I think there will be more to come, but we'll kind of start with the first one in the North Cascades, North and Central Cascades. A winter storm watch goes into effect tomorrow afternoon through Monday night, when we are expecting to receive anywhere from a foot to a foot and a half of snow possible. That alone is incredible. And folks, we're just getting started. Again, this is essentially just Sunday night into Monday. Now, we'll take you a little bit further south. Let's talk about Snoqualmie Pass and Mount Rainier and White Pass. We've got a winter weather advisory in effect. This is early Monday through Tuesday at 5 p.m. 6 to 10 inches of snow is possible there. But again, this is just round one. When we take a look at how much snow has fallen in January and February, just Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass, let's just talk about these two for a moment. Look at February. Stevens Pass, now this is on the ground. This is from WashDOT, so this is not going to be in the higher elevations. If you're going to the top to ski, they would have gotten more, but this is kind of at ground level, kind of that base level snow. Stevens Pass has received about 24.5 inches of snow. Snoqualmie Pass, 19.5. That is pathetic. That is lackluster, and unfortunately, it didn't all come at once. We would get 6 or 7 inches of snow, and then things would warm up and the rain would come and wash it away. So it was tough for skiers and snowboarders to get out and enjoy. The reason I am showing you this is because next week we will likely get more snow just at these passes than we saw the entire month of February. Some weather models spitting out 3 feet, 4 feet, maybe even 5 feet of snow, depending on how long all of this lasts. The snow level will be right. We're going to be down to 1,500 feet and less Sunday night into Monday. At times, what's going to happen is you'll get a heavy rain shower that pulls that snow level down to 500 feet, 600 feet, 700 feet, and that's where we get those pockets of lowland snow. That will be most likely Monday morning, Monday night, Tuesday morning, Tuesday night. By Wednesday and Thursday, the snow level goes up. It will still be at 2,000 and 3,000 feet, so the passes will still get pummeled with lots of fresh snow. It just won't be as likely on those days that we will get lowland snow. Let me show you this one weather model. Now, this is likely overdoing it. The temperatures are going to be, they'll be cold. We'll be in the 30s, but we won't be freezing long enough, if at all, to maintain any snow accumulation. So this is going to be a rain-snow mix. Maybe some light accumulation on grassy areas, maybe some slushy spots, maybe you get into parts of Skagit, Snohomish County, once again, that you do get some light accumulation, but overall, not expecting for most of us to go out and build snowmen. As we take a look at tomorrow, this is interesting because tomorrow that snow level is at 5,000 feet. So everything that falls will be above pass level, but we will pick up on some scattered rain. Let's get you in closer because Sunday night into Monday, well, that snow level drops, and this is 2 a.m. So this is overnight Sunday into early Monday. If you look really carefully, you could see a few flurries flying around, maybe a little bit of light snow, not just in the mountains and in the foothills. So what about Monday morning, a little bit later on? Same thing. So you could see these pockets. It'll be isolated. It'll be hit and miss. Parts of the South Sound, parts of the North Sound, parts outside of the Olympic Mountains could pick up on a little bit of snow in the lowlands here and there. Here's Monday night. Temperatures drop. You get a heavy enough shower, that could be pulled down, that snow level. You can get a convergence zone set up, which is what happened a couple of weeks ago. And it lingered long enough into the night when our temperatures were cold enough and we got a little bit of slush on some roadways. So just wanted to show you this model too, just to let you know it's a little here, it's a little there, but it is possible as we go into early next week. All the while, by the way, the mountains and passes are picking up on quite a bit of snow. I want to throw this out at you too, because this is kind of a fun fact. The last time SeaTac measured only a trace of snow for the winter season, which by the way is all we have had this entire winter season in Seattle, is a trace of snow. That is less than 1/10 of an inch. That's just a few flurries crumpled together to put a big T on our record keeping. That's really about all it is. It's really nothing. The last time we only had a trace for the entire winter season was back in the 2015-2016 winter year. Now I will say that was an El Nino year. When you have El Nino, it's warmer, it's drier, so that's kind of expected, not that big of a deal. This year we are in a La Nina weather pattern, so we should have been colder, wetter. But so if we don't get any more snow, if we don't see anything measurable next week officially out at the airport, this would be the lowest La Nina year since the 1980s. It was 1983-84 season. So there's a fun fact for you. So if you think, geez, we haven't gotten a lot of snow this year, that feels a little unusual. Yeah, you're right. Not only have the mountains not gotten enough, the passes haven't gotten enough, the lowlands really haven't gotten any at all. So let's talk about it. As we go into Sunday night and Monday, you could see that snow beginning to pile up. These are not going to be huge amounts of snow initially, but again, we'll call this round one. As we go into Tuesday, we're going to kind of see this begin to amp up a bit, especially late in the day, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. These amounts begin to pile up. Now, I will say, don't get too tethered to these exact amounts. These weather models will fine-tune, they will change. Just look at the overall trend here. As we go into Wednesday, here comes that atmospheric river. So while you are trying to get to work, getting home from work, you've got an above average rain in the lowlands, an above average commute on Wednesday with some ponding on roadways, Mason County, kind of the usual spots, the Skokomish River, maybe kind of slowly filling up. Well, all of that is translating and hitting the mountains and the passes as pure snow. So it's going to be piling up. As we go into Thursday, Friday, it's piling up. 3 to 5 feet is possible. Even this early on, the weather models have been pretty consistent with that over the past few days, but we will see. Here we go. Tomorrow morning, we've got some scattered rain. In terms of the overall amounts, this is not going to be impressive, but most of us will get a few sprinkles, a couple light showers, maybe a quick downpour, depending on where you live. Overnight Sunday, that snow level drops, and so does the snow for the mountains and the passes, and maybe a few flurries around the lowlands. Here's Tuesday. Tuesday, we see all of this crank up a bit. Not a lot of rain initially for the lowlands Monday or Tuesday, but we will see the snow in the mountains pick up. Here's Wednesday. We're zooming out for you because I want to give you a really good look at this atmospheric river. We are connected to tropical moisture. It's funneling in from the ocean, and it is being spewed all over western Washington in the form of snow for the mountains and passes. And on Wednesday, we are looking at some heavy pockets of rain at times, off and on throughout the day, likely increasing throughout the day. This particular system may have rounds or waves to it. Now, we have weather models that show it pretty much consistently staying across western Washington Thursday, Friday. The newer updates have it maybe just the southern parts, maybe Seattle and south on into Oregon. That we will have to watch, but it is going to be active through the end of the week, and then possibly more systems lined up heading into next weekend. So we are definitely going to keep this around for a little while. As we take a look at how much rain we're talking about again tomorrow, just about everyone should see something, but you could see none of us will be wowed by the overall amount. This is just the cold front coming through. When we take a look at Monday's rain, we add to it a bit, but Monday's rain will be kind of isolated. So again, not too impressive. When we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, well, here comes that atmospheric river, and we start seeing that add up. Maybe just Wednesday alone, 1, 2, 3 inches of rainfall. That's a lot to come at one day. If you were dry the next day, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. The waters would recede a little bit faster. But right now, that doesn't look like it's going to be that way for everyone. So Thursday into Friday, we may end up with a little bit more snow, a little bit more rain in the lowlands. So as we take a look at next week and even going into the middle part of March toward the end of March, the overall weather trend is still projecting wetter than average. So it doesn't mean you don't have dry time or a couple of dry days, but we have not been here in a while. You know, our atmospheric rivers that were an AR5 on a 1 to 5 scale that caused all of that flooding late last year, that was kind of the last real soaking rain we had consistently, and obviously that led to flooding. Well, we're going to get a far more active weather pattern heading into the coming days and maybe even the next couple of weeks. We are no longer in a drought, by the way. Every now and then I still get emails. Folks ask me about this. No, the yellow is just abnormally dry. And if you look really carefully, most of that is in the mountains. Mount Baker has done the best so far this year with 70% of the average snowpack. You travel down into the Cascades and it's more like 30 to 40%. So we are below average. No big surprise there. But so officially, we are abnormally dry. So all of this snowpack is going to be great news. All of the rainfall, you know, anytime we've had kind of drier winter seasons, we typically in the past make up for that in March and April, which is great news for our reservoirs. Great news heading into kind of the dry summers that we get. So all in all, I think all of this is going to be a really nice thing. And of course, tomorrow is daylight savings. You've probably heard this a lot. Just wanted to jump in here and remind you to spring forward 1 hour. Most of us have digital clocks. You don't have to worry about it. But microwaves, coffee makers, stoves, people, we tend to kind of forget about those. You might want to set those forward 1 hour, and of course, change the batteries in your smoke detectors. Okay, there's your quick reminder. As we take you through the next few days, here we go. It's also going to be colder than average as we go into next week. That colder air spilling out of the Gulf of Alaska is going to hang out with us longer than it has so far this winter. So 40s for daytime highs, 30s for overnight lows. Tuesday night and Wednesday, that first alert weather time frame, that may be extended. But as you can see, no day is completely dry. There won't be any day this week where the mountains and the passes don't pick up on at least some snow. And as we head into the weekend, early indications are that we will continue to be active. The question right now is, how active will we be? How much snow are we talking about? How much rain are we talking about? The weather models aren't quite as consistent when you get past Wednesday right now, except that there will likely be some activity. There's no reason why there wouldn't be. So we continue to watch that as well. Lots of activity next week. Be prepared when you head out Monday. Hey, it's going to be about 10 degrees colder that morning than it has been in a while. You factor in the winds, that's going to produce a wind chill. It will feel even colder. And if you get some of those isolated showers on Monday, that's just going to make it feel kind of cold and raw. Tuesday, even more so. Wednesday, you're just going to be dealing with rounds of rain. So even if you're not an umbrella person on Wednesday, it still might be a time where you might want to throw that in the car and keep it handy, because we're going to have pockets and several rounds of some of those heavier showers coming our way by the middle part of next week. Okay, so just wanted to spend a few minutes with you, just kind of getting you up to date on what's coming, really starting tomorrow night into next week, so that you are fully prepared. Make sure to keep it right here. We will always keep you updated anytime there's anything new, any changes that you need to know about. And of course, you can watch us live on King 5 and Kong throughout the week and the weekend. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the night. Hope you stay safe and hope you are prepared for what's coming next week.